Two pretty American girls, Vicky and Cristina, come to Barcelona to relax and plan to spend the whole summer here. Vicky is finishing her thesis on Catalonia identity, and Cristina just wants to take a break and look for inspiration, having recently made a 12-minute film that took up too much of her energy. From the airport, girls go to Vicky's relatives, who offered to stay with them. Best friends from college have many common interests, and the only thing they are irreconcilable about is love and relationships. Vicky is a down-to-earth realist who looks for stability and reliability in men. That is why she is already engaged to Doug, who is waiting for her to return to the United States. Cristina considers suffering an integral part of relationships, so she is not afraid to experiment and learn new things. Before the trip, she broke up with her boyfriend and now doesn't know what exactly she's looking for in a relationship. But she's definitely sure what she doesn't want. For example, predetermination and predictability, like Vicky has with Doug. Judy, Vicky's relative, welcomes the girls into her home with joy and care, and then introduces them to her husband. Judy has been married and happy since university, which serves as an example for Vicky and confirmation of her correct choice in her relationship making. Over the next few days, the girls attend various exhibitions and performances. Then Judy invites them to an art gallery. There, Cristina sees a handsome man and asks Judy if she knows him. Judy's husband says that the unknown man is an artist. He recently divorced a beautiful psychopath who almost killed him. Later, Vicky and Cristina have dinner at a restaurant where the same artist is spending the evening. This time he notices Cristina's gaze and immediately approaches the girls' table to introduce himself. His name is Juan Antonio. He is calm, charming, and self-confident. He learns that the girls are American and have come to relax for the summer. He immediately, without preamble, offers to fly with him today to Oviedo, and he does not see any obstacles to this because he is an excellent pilot. Juan will show the girls local attractions, his paintings, introduce them to other artists, and make a significant contribution to their thirst for knowledge of Spanish culture. Juan is straightforward, so he doesn't hide the fact that he likes both girls and would like to spend the night with them. Vicky is outraged by such impudence and immediately refuses this strange proposal, and Cristina finds such an adventure unusual and interesting because Juan didn't say anything offensive. Cristina likes his directness and frankness, so she does her best to persuade Vicky to accept this offer. Vicky reminds her that she is engaged and considers such dating methods humiliating, but agrees to this adventure for the sake of Cristina. The three of them fly to Oviedo, where Juan shows the sights of the town. Also, he says that he loved the best woman on earth, Maria Elena, but their relationship was too impulsive, so one day she attacked Juan with a knife. In the evening, he asks the girls if they agree to go up to the room with him, and Vicky immediately declares that she is almost married, and even being single. Juan is definitely not one of those who are her type. Cristina agrees, but only on the condition that Juan will seduce her. In the room, Cristina suddenly becomes ill and the arriving doctor states food poisoning, which requires peace and quiet. Cristina is left to recover in bed, and Vicky wants to return to Barcelona because she initially did not want to spend the weekend in Oviedo. Juan manages to interest Vicky in going to see his father. By evening, Vicky begins to like Juan's company more and more, so she agrees to have dinner at a cozy restaurant. Juan heard from Cristina that Vicky was in awe of the sound of the Spanish guitar. He suggests continuing the evening by listening to one musician. She agrees, and until late at night, together with Juan, they listen to mesmerizing music, which awakens a romantic mood in Vicky. Later, a frank conversation and compliments from Juan lead them to their first kiss, and drunk Vicky experiences intimacy with him. The next day, the three of them fly back to Barcelona. Vicky doesn't tell her friend anything, so she's silent the whole way while Cristina asks Juan for forgiveness for ruining the weekend. In Barcelona, Vicky spends a lot of time in the library while Cristina is learning a new hobby, photography. Later, Juan invites Cristina to come to his house to look at his paintings, and she happily agrees. That night, Vicky gets a call from her fiancé Doug, who offers to arrange a wedding in Barcelona, where he can fly from the USA for a short while. Doug considers this a good opportunity and a very romantic start to their marriage, and Vicky agrees, but for some reason without an enthusiasm. Cristina comes to Juan and he shows his big house, as well as the collection of paintings he painted. Juan admits how much he loved his ex-wife, Maria Elena, and there were no other girls in his house besides her. This time, Cristina's stomach does not fail her, so she experiences intimacy with Juan. Cristina stays with him, and over the next few days he willingly supports her hobby of photography, then introduces her to his friends, also creative persons. Cristina feels great in the new company and falls more and more in love with Juan. A week later, Juan accidentally meets Vicky on the street of Barcelona. She's happy for Cristina and her new relationship with Juan, but Vicky asks why he never called her after the intimacy and didn't look for meetings. Juan explains that their relations could complicate Vicky's life and awake her to doubts before her inevitable marriage. After the wedding, Doug and Vicky go on a trip to Seville. Juan invites Cristina to live in his house until the end of the summer and she happily agrees. Weeks pass and Cristina realizes that she has found the right man. One night, Juan receives a call from the hospital where his ex-wife, Maria Elena, was admitted after an unsuccessful suicide attempt. Juan brings Maria to his home and introduces the girls, after which he tells Cristina that his ex-wife will have to live here for a couple of months, because he is afraid that Maria will repeat her attempt to leave the life. Juan still loves Cristina, but his ex-wife has nowhere to live, and Maria's studio is in this house, because she is also an artist. Maria does not trust Cristina and believes that Juan is trying to make up in such a way for his main loss. The atmosphere in this house is changing for Cristina, and now at the dinner table she unwittingly becomes a witness to the eternal arguments of Juan and Maria. The former spouses figure out which of them is the more talented artist and whether Maria had to attack Juan with a knife because he simply looked at a girl on the street. When they get tired of quarreling, Maria and Juan paint new paintings in their neighboring studios. All this is observed by Cristina, who comes to understand how unpredictable human feelings can be. The presence of Maria in the house inevitably affects Cristina's relationship with Juan, because now he does not want to make love right in the workshop or on the stairs, or indeed anywhere. Juan believes that Maria should not see this, because it will upset her. Vicky signed up for a Spanish language course, where she met a guy who couldn't take his eyes off her. They went to the cinema together, and later he tried to take Vicky's hand, and this embarrassed her because she did not hide the fact that she is married. The guy explained his desire by saying that he feels insecure in the marriage, which Vicky radiates with her behavior. This fact from a stranger drives Vicky even more crazy, and she torments herself with the question of whether she chose the right man. Juan goes with the girls on a picnic, where Maria invites Cristina to develop her talent as a photographer. Maria admires Cristina's photographs and offers herself as a model for a photo shoot. Vicky and Doug meet his work colleague, who and his wife came to relax in Barcelona. The four of them during the dinner discuss renovations, carpets and TVs. But Vicky is bored. A vacation in Barcelona with Doug goes quite predictably for Vicky, until one day she notices her relative Judy in the arms of a stranger. Judy sees who discovered her secret, so she offers Vicky to discuss what happened, away from home and in private. Judy admits that she has long forgotten the passion in family life with her husband. She still loves him, but is not in love with. She can no longer separate and destroy the family, because this moment has long been lost. These words from Judy, whom Vicky considered a role model, only increase her doubts about her own choice. Cristina brought something new to Juan and Maria's relationship. Maria believes that Cristina is precisely the missing ingredient that makes the picture of feelings brighter and richer. Over time, Juan and Maria return to their old feelings, which inevitably lead to intimacy. At first, Cristina doesn't see anything wrong with this, because she considers herself progressive and is proud of it. Juan and Maria set up a dark room for Cristina, where she spends her time becoming increasingly inspired by the art of photography. One day, Maria is helping her develop photographs, when suddenly she kisses Cristina and they make love. Cristina didn't expect this, but she liked it. Weeks pass and Cristina takes up photography and spends a lot of time in the photo studio. One day, Maria and Juan come down to her, and then the three of them make love. Summer is ending, and the ideal balance in Cristina's head is increasingly overshadowed by the old familiar itch. These are thoughts that begin to take precedence over feelings, and Cristina understands that such a relationship cannot last forever. She talks about this, and Maria begins to get angry because she believes that Cristina has chronic dissatisfaction, and that she will never have enough. Juan asks Cristina what exactly she lacks or what she wants, but she doesn't know the answer. Cristina goes to France for a couple of weeks to get inspired and get her thoughts in order. Judy secretly meets with Vicky again and persuades her not to suppress her feelings for Juan. Judy sincerely wants to help and believes that Vicky made the wrong decision, so she organizes a party where she invites Juan to it, so that he and Vicky, as if by chance, met. After Cristina left Juan's house, his relationship with Maria again became unbearable. They endlessly quarrel and shout at each other. Maria cannot stand this tension, packs her things and leaves Juan's house. He goes to a party to get away and meets Vicky there. She says that she is happily married, but Juan does not believe her because he spoke to Judy. Vicky is afraid of losing her head from temptation, so Juan's offer to have lunch together goes unanswered. On the last day in Barcelona, Doug leaves to play golf with a colleague, leaving Vicky alone with her thoughts. Feelings take over and she agrees to have lunch with Juan. He takes Vicky to his home, where he shows the paintings, and admits that he has not forgotten about his feelings for her. He doesn't hide anything and said right away at the first meeting that he equally likes both Cristina and Vicky. She is filled with passion and forbidden desire for Juan. Also, his touch drives Vicky crazy. Suddenly Maria bursts into the house and starts shooting with a pistol. Juan calms Maria down and takes the weapon away from her when suddenly an accidental shot occurs, which wounds Vicky in the arm. She is horrified by what happened, by the painful shock, and by the fact that she will have to somehow explain all this to Doug. She shouts that Juan and Maria are crazy and are very suitable for each other, and then she leaves the house. Doug has a hard time believing Vicky's story about being accidentally shot by a Spanish teacher who collects guns. Later, Cristina returns to Barcelona and learns about what happened. The girls let go of all the understatement and come to the conclusion that they will remember Juan as an unusual adventure and a passing hobby. The girls return to the USA, where Vicky celebrates a magnificent wedding, chooses a house, a carpet and a TV, and does everything she dreamed of before her trip to Barcelona. Cristina continues to discover herself, because she still hasn't figured out what she likes in a relationship, but Cristina knows exactly what she doesn't want.